kung wakasan na ang dilubyo ng dugo. Sa Panginoon, hindi po mga hayop ang pinapatay, kundi mga tao.
Hindi po natin ngayon ang mamamatay tao. Kailangan po siyang panaminig sa lahat ng mga pumatay niya, sa lahat ng mga tao namatay dahil sa pagtanganabang sa droga.
Ang Panginoon! Matasan po ninyo! Ang dilubyo! Ng dugo!
To the administration and its getting free, this is the beginning of the end. Why do we allow this to be normalized as just another life taken? Why do we let them abuse their power? Where is the love, the peace that we seek?
Mama, tell us what the hell is going on. Father, help us, is the guidance from above. 'Cause people got me questioning.
We will scream and we will shout if we have to. We will take to the streets if we need to. To the administration and its getting free, this is the beginning of the end.
Good afternoon, everyone, and of course, we are gathered this afternoon to celebrate our women. syempre yung mga matatapang natin na mga kababaihan ay nandito para mag-inspire sa ating lahat. My name is Kisha Berenguela from the University Student Council.
And I am Amber Kiban from UP Baylan, and this is
Women versus Strongman. Of course, we would like to thank our org partners, Youth Resist,
UP Diliman University Student Council,
UP Business Administration Council,
CSSP Student Council,
UP Delta Lambda Sigma Sorority,
UP Porsche Sorority,
UP Babaylan,
Adelphi and Ucrea Sorority,
UP Alianza,
UP School of Economics Student Council,
UP Buklod Isip,
UP Women in Law,
UP Phi Delta Alpha Sorority,
Akbayan Youth, UP Diliman,
Every Woman,
and Insight Gov.
we will also encourage everyone na if ever magti-tweet kayo or magpo-post kayo on Facebook or Instagram, please use our official hashtag for this afternoon, hashtag Women versus Strongmen. Women, guys, may E. Tapos
Madami.
capital S. Ayan. So if ever magpo-post kayo, please do let us know by using our official hashtag.
Yan.
Amber, saan ka pinaka-excited ngayong hapon?
Alam mo, Kisha, pinaka-excited ako this afternoon for Miss Pia Ranada. Kasi I'm always been for press freedom. And, you know, what the government is doing now against Rappler is so much against press freedom that we're fighting for. And nakakalungkot isipin na halos puro babae ata yung inaatake na administrasyong to.
Kaya nga ako, I'm very excited then to listen to Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno kasi ang ganda na makuha natin talaga sa kanya yung insights kung ano nga ba yung nangyayari ngayon, yung pag-atake sa judiciary system natin. So, ano nga ba yung masasabi niya regarding that? Pero syempre, hindi na natin papatagalin pa.
Oo naman. Ano pa pang hinihintay natin? May we now call on Benji Aquino, the chairperson of the UP Diliman University Student Council, for his welcoming remarks.
Ang hapon po sa inyong lahat at maraming salamat sa pagdalo. Kung napapansin po ninyo, actually sa buong termino ni Duterte, puro mga babae yung kalaban niya. Puro mga babae yung sinisiraan niya. At puro mga babae ang hindi nagpapatinag sa kanya. Sa mga rally po na sinasamahan ko, sa mga rally na nabibring up yung point na ito na bakit nga ba takot si Duterte? Lagi pong may sisigaw, isa o dalawa, kasi bakla siya, bading siya. Bago niyo po sabihin yan, sinasabi ko sa inyo, hindi yan totoo. Takot si Duterte sa mga babae, hindi dahil bading siya. Dahil ang mga bakla ay matatapang. Di ba? Ang mga bading ay matatapang at marunong lumaban. Takot po si Duterte sa mga kababaihan dahil sa simpleng fact na duwag siya. At nandito po yung ilan sa mga naging mukha ng resistance. Nakakatuwa pong makita. Halimbawa po, from Rappler, Miss Pia Ranada. Alam ko yung mga scholar ng bayan, noong araw na nilabas yung desisyon na tinatanggalan ng lisensya ang Rappler, hindi tayo imik sa issue na yan. Agaran na nagkaroon ng mobilization. Nakakatuwa na yung naging mukha ng resistance ay kasama natin ngayon. Makakausap natin ngayon, matatanong natin sila ngayon, kaya't maraming salamat sa pagpunta. Meron din po tayong, kasama din po natin si Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Ang key takeaway ko po doon sa ilang mga napuntahan ko na rally, itong mga babaeng ito ay hindi lumalaban para sa kanila lang. Hindi lumalaban para sa pansarili nilang reputasyon. Sila ay lumalaban para sa mas malaking laban, para sa ating demokrasya at para sa ating bayan. Kaya naman po nakakatuwa na makita yung mga estudyante na nandito. At maraming salamat po sa pag-attend at hindi ko na po patatagalin pa. Siguro magsisimula na tayo sa mga susunod na speakers. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Benji, for that inspiring message din. All right, so let's proceed to the first speaker this afternoon. So for the past semester, our speaker has had at least 18 units in protest rallies. However,
Grabe, dinadala sa
oo,
labas.
yun talaga. However, officially, she is the Secretary General of Akbayan Youth and one of the conveners of Youth Resist. She studied Bachelor of Secondary Education here in UP and International Affairs in Silliman University before taking a leave from school since last year to be a full-time activist. She started activism at 14 when she was an active peer educator on violence against women and their children, and started a support group, wow, for girls in her high school who were sexually abused at home. She has been dubbed angriest woman in Silliman, and maybe rightly so. She's single, likes long walks by the beach, reading books, and temperamental brats who change the world. Of course, let's all welcome Shama Bulangis.
Thanks, girl. Okay, unang-una, and I think with the introduction, it's very much apparent that I'm a bit of an informal person and I try to be as witty as I can every time I speak in front of people. So, hi guys! Kamusta kayo? Tuwang-tuwa na walang pasok kasi akle. Tapos, after mag-sign ng attendance, aalis. Charot lang. Unang-una, nagpapasalamat po ako na andito kayo ngayon. One of the things that is most inspiring about being in the opposition is the number of people that come out in the protest rallies who actually believe in the cause, who actually believe that 20,000 people is too much, too many deaths that has been caused by the murderous war on drugs of this current administration. Pangalawa, hindi ko po alam kung nakita ninyo ang poster, pero ako po yan. At kung nakita niyo mga videos kanina, nagta-transition po talaga ang buhok ko depende sa pinagdadaanan ng Pilipinas. So, kapag sobrang stress, yung buhok ko po ang nakakadanas ng pag-move on mula sa mga kasakit, ay, Bisaya pala yun, mula sa mga pang-aabuso ng gobyernong ito. Also, Happy International Women's Month. Girls! Thank you. And of course, men. Hi, guys. Hello. Thanks for coming here. A year into the presidency, well, a year and a half into the presidency of Duterte, update lang po. There's around 20,000 people dead already according to human rights organizations' reports, and also from the government itself. I read in some report that the government boasted itself with its 20,000 deaths just recently. There were 54 minors that died over the course of this administration's war on drugs, and the youngest, I'm not sure if you know, I think na-mention siya sa mga videos kanina. The youngest is a 4-year-old kid who was, according to reports, the first quote-unquote collateral damage of the war on drugs. Althea from Negros. And kung narinig niyo yung introduction ko kanina, I'm actually from Dumaguete. I'm a Bisaya through and through. I'm a Mindanaoan. I grew up in Surigao. So kung may mga Bisaya at diha, usara ka buok. However, during the course of this administration as well, there have been major coalitions that have been formed. There's Tindig Filipinas that has some of the Senate minority, some of urban poor sectors, etc., etc. There's, of course, Youth Resist, which is more young people really. Though I think the oldest person in youth resist is like 27 years old or something. And then there are other organizations as well that have tried to form coalitions and have organized rallies within this past months nga lang eh. And I know you guys know of that as well because there were actions already here in UP at the time, especially during during the crackdown against Rappler. There were big rallies that have been done. Hindi ko alam kung nakapunta kayo doon sa February 25, merong last year August, merong last year November, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of that, either through the news or through social media or through the troll pages that you probably follow, or maybe through Mocha if you follow her, or maybe through Thinking Pinoy. You guys, okay, never mind. And since January 24, 2018, Tokhang has been reinstated to kanino? Kanino reinstate? To the police, tama. Thank you very much. Let's try to be very informal about this. To the police, the Philippine National Police. So ibig sabihin, in-instruct ngayon ni Duterte ang Philippine National Police na, oh guys, balik tayo sa Operation Tokhang. Nagpahinga lang kayo for the past months kasi para ma-distract muna yung mga tao, maglaylo yung galit nila, tapos ngayon, hindi na sila masyadong galit, balik ulit sa inyo. There's a charter change underway. If you guys haven't heard about that because you're living under a rock or busy with your thesis, etc., the charter change allows for term extensions for the current administration, from the Congress to the President and to the Senate. Well, actually, kawawa yung Senate kasi madi-dissolve sila kasi magiging part na lang sila nung interim na transitionary parliament. And then it's going to create a hyper-president because the president in the proposed charter change is going to have oversight powers over the judiciary and over the legislative. Diba, siya na lahat, diba? Executive na siya pa yung legislative, siya pa yung judiciary. So, siya yung mag-e-execute, siya yung gagawa ng batas para i-execute niya, tapos siya din yung mag-check sa ginagawa niya. Galing. And recently, within 1 week, Peter Lim, Kerwin Espinosa has been absolved of their charges by our Secretary of Injustice, Aguirre. And within the same week, Janet Napoles was put under witness protection program for God knows why, by also the same Secretary of Injustice. So, ang daming naganap, no? Gusto ko magpatuloy pa eh. Kasi ang dami-dami pa. Like, there's also, again, the perpetuation of toxic masculinity as evidenced by the old men politics that's happening with the Philippines right now. I mean, it's not meant as an offense to guys, but it's meant as a critique to patriarchy, to the general patriarchy that is still very much entrenched in the Philippines right now. If you look at our government, the people in the executive are all old men who have money and who are very, very much macho. And these men are the ones trying to stop strong women from getting them out of power. So there's Laila, who's been jailed. There's Risa Ontiveros, who's been charged of kidnapping and wiretapping. This is actually a funny story about the wiretapping. Kasi, I'm not sure if you guys know the story. Meron kasing nagpicture sa phone ni Aguirre that the VACC chair, I can't remember his name, sent a message to Aguirre, or Aguirre sent a message saying, let's expedite the cases against Risa because Risa put the witnesses of the Key and Slay under Witness Protection Program. Napicturan yon kasi sino ba namang hindi makakita nun, girl, 40 yung font sa phone niya. Ma'am naman, kung gusto mo maging secure, gawin mo naman mas maliit-liit, di ba? So nakita siya, tapos wiretapping daw yon kasi pinicturan. Nahagilap lang siya actually, parang tas binigay lang. Anyway, there's Lenny Robredo, who's also very much the butt of all the sexist things that our presidents say. I think Pia just tweeted this in Rappler before na parang sinabi niya just recently in a PNPA graduation na, it's nice to see you, my lady. Sana meron pang ibang graduation para makita ulit kita. Like, how about no? Then there's also the West Philippine Sea issue. Welcome to China. Charot lang. Where our president has tried to make, has joked about making the Philippines a province of China, and call Benham by your name, charot lang. Kasi the Chinese are pretty much done with their incursion in Benham, and they've properly I think they're almost done militarizing and building the military zone there in one of our islands in the Philippines. So guys, ready na ba yung ROTC natin? Ano ba yan? There's also the issue of CJ Sereno and the Ombudsman. And CJ Sereno is going to be here later to talk about the judiciary as well. And then, ito yung pinakamalala. Dating diktador, because pretty much our president has authoritarian fantasies. Isang dating diktador has been rehabilitated into power. The Marcos legacy of martial law that is happening right now in Mindanao. Some of our members, as the Secretary General of Akbayan Youth, I check on our members from everywhere in the Philippines. And our members in Iligan cannot meet as Akbayan Youth because we were tagged as enemies of the state. So they can't meet as Akbayan Youth, but they can meet as an NGO, so matalino pa rin. So nag-meet sila, NGO daw sila. Pero hindi sila pwedeng mag-meet to stage rallies because they're being followed by the police. Imagine if that happens in Luzon. To be completely honest, I mean, I grew up in Mindanao. I'm very used to checkpoints. When I came here to UP to study, walang checkpoints. And I think that's the very reason why the Mindanao, when martial law started, it just started with checkpoints. People were not angry about it because we're so used to it. We see it everywhere. Pagpasok mo sa city namin sa Surigao, may checkpoint. Pagpasok mo sa pinaka-city talaga, may checkpoint. So people do not necessarily know that this is a curtailment of their freedom to roam everywhere they want. That they do not need to be checked every time. And the Marcos legacy has lived on by Duterte. Actually, there are two promises that Duterte has delivered on. First is the war on drugs, and second is ang paglibing kay Marcos sa libingan ng mga bayani. Now, ang daming problema, no? Parang you're being attacked from all sides, and it feels like, oh my God, what is happening right now? Parang yung lahat ng major classes mo nagpa-paper sa'yo. Or lahat ng mga parang lahat ng classes mo kailangan mong i-removals kasi 4 ka sa lahat. And it feels so hopeless because you have to study on this, study on that, make the paper on this, make the paper on that. And this is something bigger because it involves all of our lives. So the question is, where do we put ourselves in that picture? Where will women put themselves in that picture? When we are the most affected by this administration, where will the young people put themselves in the equation?
And that's a question that's very hard to answer. It's a question that we're trying to answer ourselves. But there's hope. When the Duterte administration said that they're going to put Marcos and they're going to bury Marcos in the libingan ng mga bayani, who went out to People Power Monument? Tayo. Nung namatay si Kian, the 17-year-old kid, na hindi natin masasabing swerte pero buti na lang may CCTV camera, nakuhanan and confirmed the gut feel of the people na hindi lahat ng tao ay nanlaban, na hindi lahat ng hindi lahat ng spot reports ng police na ginagawa nila, kasi lahat ng spot reports ng police nanlaban daw, resisted arrest, etc., etc. Running away from the police can be considered resisting arrest. Sino yung pumunta sa PPM? Tayo. However, the problem is we haven't been sustaining efforts. And as much as we try to, because we're trying to balance school, we're trying to balance being a working student, most likely, we're trying to balance getting that cum laude, we're trying to get a good name for our resumes. So what's the role of the young people? First, we need to be the front line. We need to be in the front line of the opposition against the war on drugs, against the killing of many other Filipinos, against Chacha, against martial law. During the Marcos dictatorship, young people were in the forefront. Young people were the ones who went into the communities and tried to organize people against the dictator. And I think it's high time that we started doing that as well. It's high time that we stopped looking down from our ivory towers and being with the people. It's time we start going from mobile to mobilized. Because we're so used to thinking, oh, I've shared this, I've contributed. Yes, thank you. But there's more to that. There's more than just the bare minimum of sharing, of posting. And I'm tasked to inspire you guys right now. I'm tasked to tell you guys what the role of women is. And here I am telling you, and hopefully you listen. Hopefully you actually do this. Hopefully you help us do this. But also second, when we are successful, because in the end, democracy will win, we need to be able to be ready to catch and rebuild the democratic institutions that have been compromised right now. Tayo-tayo din naman yung magiging matatanda. At most likely, UP students will be in seats of power, whether in businesses or in government. Whatever you learn in UP, you need to be able to translate that into rebuilding and strengthening democratic institutions. Put martial law in the curriculum for students here who are eduk students. May eduk students ba dito? Ako lang pala, at si JM. Use your pol-sci skills. I don't know what the pol-sci skills are. I love you guys. Go into government. Try to make this government efficient. Go into the Department of Health. Run for office. Fight for universal education. Fight for universal health care. These are things that we can do.
These are things that we should do. And I'd like to quote the current administration during its campaign before I end. Change is coming, but it's not coming from them. Change is gonna come from us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shama. Grabe, ang dami nating issue sa lipunan ngayon. Grabe.
Grabe.
Totoo nga,
Inspiring
no?
nga eh.
Para kang nag-midterms, tapos sabay-sabay yung exam mo, tapos di mo na alam, girl.
Removals pa nga daw eh. Lahat 4, tapos removals lahat.
So,
Hirap.
ano naman ang,
Sige.
meron tayong next speaker. So, yung next speaker natin, Emily Cruz, as known by her neighbors as Ate Ems, is a housewife of a tricycle driver in a small barangay in Marikina. So, kapitbahay lang pala natin. After her sister-in-law, Michelle was killed in a buy-bus operation. After her sister-in-law, Michelle, was killed in a buy-bus operation February of last year, she and her husband now stands as foster parents to Michelle's 8 orphan children. Grabe, ang dami. One of which is still 9 months old. Her brother, Michelle's wife, is now in hiding as he believes he's also in the police's kill list. She wishes to share the story of her family, telling the truth so that people will realize that EJK is real and they're not just numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ma'am Emily Cruz.
Good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Emily Cruz, hipag ni Michelle na biktima ng EJK. Meron po akong asawa, tricycle driver po siya, tas ako po sa bahay lang. Ako nag-aalaga ng... Kasi baliwali yung anak ni Michelle, kaso nung namatay siya, bali naghiwa-hiwalay na sila, yung 3 sa side namin napunta, tas yung iba pina-adapt, tas yung isa na sa side ni Michelle. Hipag ko si Michelle. Ang nangyari kasi nung gabi nung February 20, maaga 8 p.m. ng gabi yon. Nandun ako sa labas ng bahay nila. May hinihintay akong tao. May nakita akong mga pulis. Tinuturo nila yung bahay nung kapatid ko na asawa nga ni Michelle. Ang pagkakaalam ko, baka may complainant lang kasi ang tagal na stop nung ng tukhang sa amin. Halos 2 weeks walang tukhang dahil dati halos sa isang linggo, mga 2 yung napapatay din sa amin dahil sa lugar nga namin talagang medyo marami talagang drugs, ganon. Kaya, nung na-stop yon, akala ko, hindi ko naisip na tukhang talaga yon. Nandun ako sa labas ng bahay nila. Nung dumating yung mga nakabonet, akala ko complainant lang na baka may nagsumbong, baka may ginawa silang kalokohan yung kapatid ko. Ayun lang yung nasa isip ko. Tapos yung anak niya nung time na yon nasa labas. Nakatingin lang ako sa mga pulis, hindi ko kasi alam na tukhang na yun eh. Tinatadyakan nila yung pintuan ng bahay. Nung pagtadyak nila ng pintuan ng bahay, yung isang anak ng hipag ko na 9 years old yun, bigla siyang sumigaw ng, huwag niyo pong papatayin si mama. Doon parang nag-register sa isip ko na tukhang yun. Tapos bigla akong pinaalis ng pulis. Umalis na ako, tumatakbo ako kasi ginanon ako ng pulis. Kasi ang nangyayari pagka hindi ka umalis doon, madadamay ka talaga eh. Maraming ganong insidente na wala naman silang kinalaman pagbaril, nadadamay kasi nga hindi umaalis. Kaya ang nasa isip ko noon, tumakbo ko talaga agad. Mga nakakailang ano pa lang ako, hakbang na patakbo, nakarinig na ako ng 4 na putok. Tapos, yung pamangkin ko nga, narinig ko pa yung sigaw niya na huwag niyong papatayin si mama. Ayun lang, di pa ako nakakalayo. Ayun, 4 na putok na. Tapos, ang dami-dami ng tao, nagkakagulo na ron. Hindi ako makalabas kasi nanlalambot ako, hindi ko kayang tignan si Michelle. After nun, hindi na kami nagkita ng kapatid ko. Siguro mga 2 months pa siguro bago kami ulit nagkita. Ang sabi niya sa akin, nakita ko yung istorya. Nakita ko yung kung paano nila binaril si Michelle. Sabi niya, gustong-gusto ko talagang bumaba ng, kasi sa bubong siya natutulog nun dahil aware na nga sila na merong tukhang. Kahit na sinasabi na wala ng tukhang, yung kapatid ko sa bubong pa rin siya natutulog. Nung nangyari yon, di pumasok nga ako sa bahay, tas yung kapatid ko, di nasa bubong nga siya noon. Nung nag-aakuli mga tao, hindi na ako lumabas hanggang sa umalis na yung kapatid ko. 2 months bago kami nakita ulit, na kinuwento niya nga na nakita niya may barangay, may pulis, tas kinuha yung anak niya habang nagbe-breastfeed yung hipag ko. Kinuha nung barangay yung pulis, kinuha nung barangay yung baby, 8 months pa lang yung baby nung time na yun saka siya binaril. Yun ang kwento ng kapatid ko. Hanggang ngayon, pagka nagpupunta yung kapatid ko sa amin, etong huling punta niya, parang medyo okay naman siya kasi birthday nung anak niya noon binigyan niya binilan niya ng ice cream. Na yung huling kita namin. Tapos hindi na naman kami nagkita, mahigit 1 buwan na naman, magdadalawang buwan na naman. Hindi kasi siya makatagal sa lugar namin, natatakot kasi siya. Nasa rin kasi siya, nasa drug list, kaya nasa watch list siya, kaya hindi siya makapunta. Saka nung time na sinasabihan kami na makakahingi kami ng tulong sa human rights, dadalhin daw siya sa safety house. Sinabi ko yun sa kapatid ko nung misang nakita kami. Hindi talaga siya pumayag. Ang sabi niya, ayaw niya na raw maniwala kasi nakita niya raw na kung paano binaril ng pulis yung asawa niya. Kumbaga wala na siyang pinagtitiwalaan. Sabi niya gano'n. Kaya yun, hanggang ngayon, ito nga, magdadalawang buwan na naman kami hindi nagkikita. Yun. Ayun yung nangyari sa hipag ko. Pagkatapos nun, ang ginawa namin, kasi yung babaeng nakakita rin sa pangyayari, mag-10 years old na yun. Buti na pasok ko siya naikuha ko siya ng birth certificate sa may PSA, kaya ayun nakapag-kinder siya. Parang mag-graduate na siya ngayon ng kinder. Tapos yung isa grade 5 na. Yung iba hindi ko na alam Tapos yung isa, mag-kinder na rin etong pasukan, yung pangatlo. Ayun, kami yung sumusuporta sa kanila. Tinutulungan din ako may isa pa akong kapatid, tinutulungan din kami noon. Yun nga, yung pinaka-father nila, parang lang siya, yung hindi mo siya alam kung kailan siya dadating kasi hanggang ngayon hindi na nawala yung takot niya sa mga pulis. Na nasa isip niya na pagka na-trauma siya na pag nakita siya, yung parang ang pakiramdam niya, babarilin na lang din siya bigla. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, hindi na ganon. Basta nakita nila na nagbago ka na, nawala ka na talaga sa drugs, hindi ka nila para patayin. Sabi niya, ate, huwag ka nang maniwala sa mga pulis. Kasi yung mga pulis na yan, mga inutusan talaga ni Duterte na lahat ng mga adik ubusin, huwag nang ikulong kasi adik na papakainin mo pa, tapos palalayain mo pagkaraan ng kaya kailangan yung mga adik na yan, yung mga pusher na yan, patayin na lang. Kaya kaya ganun kalaki yung takot niya sa pulis kasi nga napunta siya sa drugs. Ay nasa isip niya, kaya wala siyang tiwala kahit sinong pulis, kahit sino ayaw niyang pumunta ron na idadali siya sa safe house. Ayun. Paano kami, awa ng Diyos, nakabangon naman kasi may mga tumutulong sa amin, katulad nung sa itong PBBR, People Power Volunteers for Reform. Isa yung tumutulong sa amin at saka yung sa ng 4Ps, nakakuha kami ron ng financial every 2 months. Yun, isa-isa nakakatulong sa amin. Ang mensahe ko lang, sana dumating na yung time na talagang matapos na yung EJK na yan kasi ang dami talagang kawawang bata. Kumbaga, sige sabihin na natin na nasa drugs talaga yung kapatid ko, pero hindi pa rin sapat na dahilan yun para patay nila yung hipag ko kasi ang daming anak nun eh. Buti sana kung malalaki na yung bata, ang liliit ng bata, yung isa halos kailan lang nag-1 taon, ay talaga yung pinakano kaya na sana matapos na yung EJK na yan kasi hindi naman sila yung tao sila eh. Kung yung mas mabibigat nga na kasalanan, di ba nililitis pa? Kung yung mga talagang mga lalaking drug lords nga eh. Nakakalabas eh, di ba? Yung kapatid ko, yung hipag ko, hindi naman sila ganun hindi naman sila talagang big time eh. Ayun talaga yung pinaka-message ko, sana matapos na yun. Salamat po.
Salamat po Ate M sa okay lang po, upo lang po kayo.
Salamat po sa
Pag-share po ng story nyo. Bali ngayon po, i-recount lang rin kasi talaga natin po yung events para malinaw rin kung ano po yung nangyari nung gabing yun. Bali po Ate Ems, nasa may tapat po kayo ng bahay ng hipag nyo? Tama
Hindi
po
po
ba?
totally tapat. Halimbawa po, ito yung bahay, tas ito yung pintuan, dyan po ako. Opo, ganyan. Dyan
So,
po ako.
kita nyo po.
Opo, yung pagsipa po, yung pagdating po ng mga pulis, ang nakita ko po, tinadyakan nila yung pinto. Yun po yung nakita ko. Pero yung actual na pagbaril nila sa loob, di ko po yung nakita kasi pinaalis na nga po ako. Basta,
Opo.
hindi pa po ako nakakalayo masyado. 4 na putok na yung narinig ko.
Tapos po, pagkabalik nyo po, yun
Hindi na po ako
kayo
bumalik. Ano na po, siguro mga oras na po yung napalipas ko bago ako lumabas kasi hindi ako makatayo eh, nalalambot ako. Tapos paglabas ko, ando na po yung mga soko, may soko dun eh. Saka may mga pulis na rin, tapos yung mga kapitbahay namin na nakikiusyoso, yun.
Tapos po, yung kapatid nyo po ay...
Hindi na po kami nakita noon.
Hindi na po kayo
After noon.
nakita.
Opo, siguro mga 2 months nakita kami, yung nag-usap kami na ayun yung na hindi niya raw matanggap. Sabi ko, kahit ganyan yung nangyari, sabi kong ganun, andyan na yan eh, hindi na natin may babalik yung buhay ng asawa mo. Isipin mo, may mga anak ka, sabi ko. Yun yung sinasabi ko lagi sa kanya.
Ngayon po, yung kapatid nyo ay nakatira po ngayon sa bubong?
Hindi
ng
po.
bahay?
Ano po, ang sinasabi ko pong nasa bubong, yun po yung time na binaril si Michelle. Ando doon po siya sa bubong. Ando doon po siya sa bubong na yun. Kasi nga po, halos sa isang linggo, mga 2 beses silang nanunukhang doon sa amin nung nangyari yung tukhang sa kanila. Parang nagpahinga po sila ng siguro mga 2 weeks silang nagpahinga noon eh. Kaya gano'n na parang akala nila wala na rin talaga. Misi ako akala ko po wala na.
Tapos yun po, yun yung nangyari. Ngayon po, yung mga anak po ng hipag nyo po, Yung tatlo po ay kasama niyo po,
Opo,
Ate
nasaba.
Ems.
Opo, nasa amin po.
Tapos yung iba po ay ano pong nangyari sa iba?
Ano po, yung tatlo matagal na po kasing wala yan kasi anak niya po yun sa unang asawa niya. Bali, ang anak niya po sa kapatid ko, 5. Yung, ang nasa akin po kasi panganay, pangalawa, pangatlo.
Opo.
Tapos yung pang-apat, kumbaga nagsasama pa sila ng kapatid ko, pina-adapt na nila yon.
Okay
Tapos
po.
yung pang-5, yung baby, ayun na lang ayun lang po yung nasa side ng hipag ko.
Okay po.
Kasi hindi namin yung kayang kaya hindi rin namin hinabol yon. Ano po kasi, naggagatas pa siya iniisip ko noon, yung pampers noon, yung gatas noon, hindi katulad yung malalaki, katulad ngayon, pagka yung halimbawa, dadaing yung pangatlong anak ng kapatid ko, si Jan, sasabihin niya, Mami, nagugutom na ako. Anak, sandali lang, kasi hindi pa dumarating si Daddy, hindi pa tayo nakakabiling ulam. Okay lang, Mi, may toyo pa ba tayo dyan? Eh, syempre yun, pwede mo na siyang itoyo, o kaya asukal yung ulam niya. Okay lang, pero yung baby, hindi ko naman po pwedeng lagyan ng toyo sa bote niya yun. Kaya hindi ko siya talaga pinilit kunin. Ang mas gusto ko kasi magkakasama talaga silang magkakapatid hanggat maaari. So, ang hirap po ng baby, may diaper, tapos may mineral pa siya. O tapos yung gatas niya pa, hindi ko talaga siya pinilit kunin doon. Kumbaga yung tatlo lang na kahit ano lang ulamin yung makakasurvive na tayo, ganun.
Ngayon po na nangyari po yun, yung masamang pangyayari na yun, ano po kaya yung sa tingin yung dapat na gawin ng pamahalaan?
Ano po, sa nakikita ko po kasi sa sarili ko ng obserbasyon, sila lang din po yung makakapagpatigil niyan eh. Kasi sila naman po yung may proyekto niyan eh. Di ba ang may hawak niyan una, mga pulis. Tapos nagkaroon, masyadong pumutok yung tukhang, ibinigay nila ng PDEA. Nung hinawakan na saya ng PDEA, parang maraming nahuhuling mga malalaking tao, pero hindi naman ganun karami yung mga nababalita. Although may mga natutukan pa rin, pero hindi ganun karami na hindi katulad ng panahon ng sa PNP talaga. Ang dami talaga. Etong sa PDEA, parang hindi masyado. Ibinalik ko ulit ngayon ang pagkakalam ko, ibinalik ko siya sa PNP. Kaya ngayon, panay, kasi madalas wala kasi kaming sa bahay, ilaw, ang gamit lang namin. Yung battery siya sa sasakyan, tas yun, kaya wala kaming TV, nakikinig lang ako sa radyo. Yun, parang nakakarinig na naman ako ng mga tinutukhang, gano'n. Hindi katulad nung sa PDEA ang may hawak, mas lamang yung napapakinggan ko na may mga nahuhuli, pero madalang ang natutukhang. Pag sa PNP kasi nung panahon nila, parang wala namang masyadong nahuling big time, pero maraming natutukhang. Kumbaga, sila rin makakapag-solusyon dyan kasi sila yung may proyekto niyang tukhang na yan eh. Kumbaga, si Duterte rin makakapagpatigil yan. Kasi siya, itigil na kasi ang daming kawawang bata.
Salamat po talaga, Ate M, sa pag-share po, sa pagbabahagi ng storya nyo. Palakpakan po natin si Ate M. Sobrang tapang niya po.
Sobrang tapang. Grabe yung hirap na i-recount mo yung masamang nangyari na witness mo personally.
Yes.
And it just shows na ang dami talagang inosenteng nadadamay dito sa war on drugs. Kasi sinasabi nila, okay lang na may mga collateral damage. Ito yung mga namamatay during operations na hindi naman dapat mamatay. Pero aside dun sa mga namamatay na hindi naman dapat kabilang doon sa nasa drug list, hindi nila naiisip na yung mga kamag-anak, yung mga anak, ay nagiging biktima rin nitong war on drugs. Ay, bigat.
Ang bigat. Pero salamat po talaga, Ate M,
po
sa pagbabahagi ng storya nyo.
So, I think, carry na tayo for our third speaker, no?
Yes.
Ito talaga yung gusto hinihintay
Ito yung
kong
excited si
magsalita.
Amber.
Oo.
Okay.
Our third speaker got her taste of journalism during a media internship in the Netherlands that taught her how to write stories far beyond her comfort zone and her side of the international dateline. After graduating magna cum laude, wow.
Achieve.
From Ateneo de Manila University with a degree in communication, she worked as a writer-producer for the late-night newscast on GMA7. These experiences have given her the skills to work as a multimedia reporter for Rappler, covering the environment, agriculture, and heritage beats. She's the palace reporter of Rappler, a social news network under constant attack from the president, his allies, and online trolls for exposing government scandals, extrajudicial killings, and the troll industry in the Philippines. Earlier this year, the Securities and Exchange Commission revoked Rappler's registration, effectively ordering it to be shut down and banned her from entering the premises of Malacanang Palace, in effect barring her from directly reporting on presidential affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Ms. Pia Renada.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's International Women's Month, and since we're here to celebrate strong women, my mom is actually watching me now, so I hope you can give my mom a round of applause. She's there at the back, and she's one of my inspirations for being a strong woman. My mom was an OFW who went to the States to support my family, so I always take courage and inspiration from her. So, yeah, happy Women's Month to everyone here, to your moms, to your sisters, your girlfriends, everyone. Okay, so first of all, I'll introduce myself. I'm Pia Renada, a Rappler multimedia reporter covering Malacanang and the President. Just a disclaimer before we get into the main presentation, Rappler is not a destabilizer of governments. Many trolls would like you to believe that we want to bring Duterte down, but that's not true. That's not our role. The journalist's role isn't to bring governments down. It's to protect the truth, to report the truth, and help you make informed decisions. So yun, before we get into anything else, hindi kami, we're not here to destroy the government. We're here to make you decide what you want to do, to decide what you think about the government, and eventually to act on that. Okay. So I have a presentation. I hope it can be flashed because there are certain pictures I want to show you. But basically, my presentation will be about the first one. We'll talk about Duterte and women. Next would be Duterte and press freedom. And lastly, Rappler's experience and what we can do about this problem, this threat, as a community, as a nation. Okay, so could we have it? But siguro just to give a background, I can start naman without the presentation. How I started to cover the president. So it actually started in September 2015, supposed to move in the middle. And that was even before Duterte announced his presidential bid. So even before Duterte said he would run, nandun yung Rappler covering him. We were actually maybe one of the first Manila-based media outfits that actually assigned a dedicated reporter to cover Duterte in terms of elections coverage because we already had a feeling that he would run, even if he kept saying he wouldn't. So that's when it began. And through the course of my coverage of Duterte, I got to see Duterte close up. I got to meet his family, in fact, the women in his life. And my observation actually was that Duterte actually surrounds himself with strong women. His first wife, his long-term partner, Honeylet, even his teenage daughter, Kitty, they're all strong women, feisty women. I've met them, talked to them. Sara Duterte is a strong woman. And we also have to remember that Duterte's mother, Nanay Soleng, is a very strong woman. In fact, terrorized the president when he was young. So that's why in my mind, as I came to see Duterte and how chauvinistic he can get, how uncouth, how rude to women, I started to see this image of him that Duterte is actually in awe of women. He doesn't understand them, and in the end, he fears strong women who he's not sure support him. Because obviously his family, they're strong women, but he knows that at the end of the day, they will root for him. So parang he loves them, he adores them to that point. But when it comes to strong women who hindi siya sure will support him, And nandun na yung takot ni Duterte. He doesn't understand them. He doesn't know what to do with them. He doesn't know how to handle them. So we also noticed that during coverage, Duterte really prefers women, reporters. And that's part of the reason why I was able to tag along with him, because I'm a girl, I'm a female, and for him, he likes to be surrounded by girls. I mean, ganun siya. May preferential treatment siya sa babae. Like, if babae kang reporter, you'll probably coax him to speak to you more often, to give you sound bites you want. I mean, ganun talaga siya. And so some people say, the people around him who I've talked to, the women around him, call him a benevolent sexist. Yun yung kanilang parang way of justifying what he does. Na he will never go to the point of physically harming a woman. He won't rape them, probably he won't punch them. This is what they say. But he kind of objectifies them in a manner na parang trophy wife, trophy woman, trophy daughter. So he puts women on a pedestal. And in a way, it's a compliment kasi pedestal, di ba? Like, wow, he's very impressed with women. But on the other hand, it's also a way of objectifying a woman. Because Duterte doesn't see them as not so much his level. Like, he thinks he has the license to talk about women in ways that make women uncomfortable. And he doesn't seem to understand this. So yung term na benevolent sexist, para lang yan benevolent dictator. There's no such thing. So, when people justify it that way, I take it with a grain of salt. And to realize that his view of women is quite outdated. There's a generation in this country, even maybe in other cultures, that see women this way and don't see anything wrong with it. But the world has progressed since then. We no longer see women as objects, trophies, or as we've advanced so much. The problem is Duterte has not and resists all attempts to change him. His excuses, he's old, matanda na siya. Even his supporters say this, we can't change the guy, but that doesn't mean we should stop trying. All right, what does the administration say about women, about Duterte and women? The admin says, anyway, Duterte has pro-women policies. Sa Davao, he approved the Magna Carta for women. In his presidency, he signed the executive order for the full implementation of the RH law. He reacted so strongly about the abuse to Joanna de Mafeles, who is a woman OFW, yung nahanap sa freezer after 2 years. So the spokesman, si Harry Roque, always cites these cases to prove that Duterte isn't anti-women. But the thing we see here is those policies don't exactly cancel out the objectifying things he says about women, right? I mean, you can't be pro-woman on one hand and then the way you talk isn't pro-woman. So I think what people just want to point out to him, media included, is that the public deserves consistency. That's something that Harry Roque can't seem to understand, that we still expect someone to be consistent with his actions. They have to translate into words as well, because words also have an impact on how people act. So, yun. And it's also bolstered by the fact that sexism, in fact, persists to this day. Not so much because of what people do on the ground, but also in the way people talk about women. And language has a way of perpetrating certain behaviors, and that's why we insist, public should insist, that Duterte temper his language, because he's supposed to be the role model of the nation, the father of the nation. Right? So, actually, yung clash between Duterte and Rappler was a women issue. If you remember, it was an issue of the progressive way of viewing women versus outdated way, i.e. Duterte. And, oh sorry, can you move back to the very first? So I'm just gonna show you a series of stories I did. It's actually going to trace the whole conflict between Rappler and Duterte to show you that, in fact, the whole clash began with a different understanding of how Duterte should speak about women. So, next slide. Yan. So, ito yung unang-unang story I did. One of the first few na talagang critical of Duterte. This was, I think, his first political sortie, campaign sortie in Taguig. And in his very first formal concert to promote his candidacy, he admitted he's a womanizer. And this was where the trolling began for me. I would get messages on Facebook saying, sa lahat ng sinabi ni Duterte sa gawing iyon, bakit naman yung womanizer pa yung highlight mo? Of course, not paying attention to the fact that I, in fact, wrote other stories about what he said that night. But of course, I felt I had to highlight the fact that he himself admitted to having multiple mistresses, girlfriends, na he would just treat one of his girlfriends na parang short time lang naman to, so sa motel na lang tayo instead of sa hotel. So I felt that that was news. Diba? That's something you want to know about. Like, this man has lots of mistresses. He might become the president one day. So yun, next story. And then, yan, Duterte defends his womanizing. Sino bang walang kaligayahan? And then you see these images of him with women. Next. And this one really got his supporters riled up when I took a video of Duterte forcibly kissing a female supporter. As in, I was right. That's my camera. And talagang ginano ni Duterte yung babae. Tapos the girl couldn't do anything. Of course, the girl was a supporter. So I guess on some level, she allowed it to happen, or she wasn't totally against it because she's a supporter and she was there talaga willingly. But at some point, she couldn't move anymore because Duterte was pinning her down. So, yeah. Next. And then this one is the wolf whistling against a fellow reporter of mine, si Mariz Umali. And if you recall, this was really when medyo nagka-clash na because I asked Duterte about the wolf whistling and I told him, don't you know that wolf whistling is against the very Davao Women's Code you yourself signed? So si Duterte, his answer to that was, I don't like the question, next question. And then after a while, I pressed him about it. I said, I repeated the question, and then what he did was, he wolf whistled at me. Yun yung response niya. So doon na talaga ako nagalit. I mean, medyo I got kind of frustrated about his response. And kasi Duterte, as I said earlier, he knows me personally. He knows my name because we've met for months. So after this happened, he called me a traitor. He told me, Pia, traidor ka. Because I pointed out what he did was wrong. Okay, next. Then of course, this might be the lowest point of his presidential campaign when he joked about that he should have been first to rape an Australian woman who died in a prison riot in Davao City. Yeah, next. And then fast forward to today. He is president and he is still making remarks like that. This is one of my quote-unquote favorites. Duterte jokes about 42 virgins as tourism come on. So this was in India. You kind of know the culture there in India. And the whole room full of Indian businessmen, Filipino businessmen, they were laughing at this joke. Next. Of course, the way Duterte treats our vice president is also quite concerning. Diba? It's something that has made headlines. The way he teased her about having a short skirt. Next. And in fact, there have been so many that I've compiled them. Top 6 sexist remarks. Just to show that it's been a consistent practice of his or behavior pattern that he's not going to stop making remarks on something really, I don't know what would happen to him, but he doesn't think it's wrong. He actually thinks it's part of his personality already. It's a personality quirk for him. So we have to just live with it. Okay, next. Okay, so those are the stories we did on Duterte that covered the way he treats women. And now I'm going to go to the second part of my talk, which is to talk about press freedom under his administration. So under Duterte, there are 2 threats that I've observed. One is coming from the government himself, Duterte himself, So that's diba, the authority bearing down on the public. And the second threat are from his very vocal supporters online. These could be real people who are thinking independently. They sincerely support him and agree with him. And then there's a second kind, the trolls who are actually robots or paid to spread propaganda, to affirm certain narratives. Those are the two kinds of trolls that I see that have been threatening press freedom. So if you notice, I've also talked to other female journalists about this. Insults to women journalists are particularly sexualized. May mga men who, of course, there are journalists who are male and they also get trolled a lot. But if you notice the way women journalists are trolled, there is a emphasis on the sexual connotation. For example, they would say, "You're ugly." Or may isang reporter, foreign correspondent, who was told na she probably had cosmetic surgery and she probably had sex change. That's why she looks like that. There's also one, I'm sure you know of Pinoy Ako Blog. Diba si Franco Mabanta told her she looked like I don't remember now, but I think a troll or something about her appearance. And then ako, when there's a time si Mocha Uson sat beside me during a press conference and then she took a selfie with me. And then, she posted it on her Twitter. And then, yung mga supporters niya, their comments were, "Ha ha ha, si Pia flat. Buti ka pa, Mocha, malaki yung boobs mo," or something. As if that was relevant to the press conference. So, ganon, very sexualized yung insults to journalists who are women. So, journalism is tough enough without that added layer of hostility. The feeling we get right now is every time I ask a question in a press conference, every time I write a critical story, I will always expect a rape threat, a death threat mixed in. And actually, over breakfast, that's part of my workflow already, to check my Twitter, my email, and my Facebook to read hate messages to me every morning over a cup of coffee. It's been something that all other journalists, not just myself, experience now. So, yun, may ganong level of discomfort. It's much harder to be a journalist in this environment when both the trolls and the government, Duterte, doesn't want you to be critical about what they do. So, like with women's rights, Duterte has a limited understanding of press freedom. So, diba we talked about how he is in both issues. Talagang limited yung understanding niya. With press freedom, he'll only allow it to a certain extent, but if it's too much, that's when he will crack down on you. Now going to our experience, rappers fight for press freedom. We've been slapped with a BIR tax evasion case, not to mention, the decision of the Securities and Exchange Commission to revoke our incorporation papers. Then there's a cyber libel case, which they dismissed at first and then they revived it without any basis. Then, lastly, we have the presidential events coverage ban. So, next slide. Sorry, back. Just to go back to the Malacanang ban, people say the admin wants you to think that it isn't a press freedom issue because only one media outfit is affected. But I'm here to say that when was press freedom ever just a numbers game? When were rights just a numbers game? Like when someone gets killed, when someone kills one person, and then you say, "Oh, we shouldn't call him a murderer because anyway, he just killed one person." I don't think it works that way. I don't think we have to count the number of people who die or who get silenced for all of us to agree that our rights are being trampled on. Because when one instance happens, when one media outfit is silenced, it gives the government the license to do it again to someone else. And when we don't oppose it, that encourages them even more to think that it's okay, that they won't face any resistance. So I completely dispute that. I don't agree that this is not a press freedom issue. In Marcos's time, there were still media operating, but these media were pro-Marcos. So you can't say na, "Oh, kasi may media pa naman, okay pa naman eh." Diba? It's not that way. he shut down some media, but he kept those for him alive. So, does that mean it's okay? Um, and now I also want to bring also to light something some people might not know about. Next slide. Yeah. Rappler is actually full of women. We're one of the few media groups who are that's actually dominated by women. These are all our senior managers. That's Maria Reza, Glenda Gloria, Beth Frondoso, Chai Hofilenia. These are all legendary reporters who are now managing us. And next slide. Most of Raptors reporters are women too. So, yeah, it just shows that, women are such a backbone of Rappler. And in Rappler, at least, women empowerment is very pronounced. Yeah, so, I think I'll leave most of the time for Q&A. But I guess I just like to leave you with the message that there's still so much we can do to protect our freedoms now. Uh, this forum is about guarding against dictatorships and people who want to silence us. And I think there's many ways we can help in this movement. And I think one way is to be critical. In Rappler, that's what we really want to do. We want people to be critical, to never lose that muscle of the brain that makes you think twice about something. So my very first advice or I don't know, point of action would be to read a lot on different viewpoints, not just one. Don't trust your news feeds to bring you the truth because it'll always be catered to confirm your biases. Get out of your comfort zones, read news from the actual websites because then you can see the full comprehensiveness of what's happening. Talk to people, even people you don't agree with. Talk to a troll. Talk to your friend who's anti-Duterte, even if you don't, who's pro-Duterte or whatever opposite of the political spectrum they may lie in. The point is, don't be comfortable with thinking the way you are thinking now. Challenge it and see if you can find out more so that you can make an informed decision. Also, secondly, don't be silent. Like, if you see nowadays so much hate online, it's so hard to comment because you might get trolled. But I'm here to say that you should be courageous enough to comment on something you feel strongly about. Don't let them win. Because if you stop commenting, if you stop speaking your mind online, then it means they already won. So never do that. Never be silenced. And third, also get involved in issues. Read up on the issues because there's so many things going on right now that we have to fight, especially press freedom. We take it for granted that we get different viewpoints. Sabi nga ni Harry Roque, we should all have or support a free marketplace of ideas. So even if the government isn't exactly doing that, that's what you should do. Do it for the government. I mean, look for other viewpoints and read up on the issues that you care about. Yan. So, lastly, mabuhay mga kababaihan. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Miss Pia. So we'll be having an open forum afterwards. But let's all welcome our next speaker. So our next speaker is a Filipino activist and teacher who has served 3 terms as the party list representative of the Akbayan Citizens Action Party from 1998 to 2007. She was also the chairperson of the Commission on Human Rights from 2010 to 2015. She is a well-known defender of human rights and was instrumental in instituting a class action suit in the Hawaii District Court, which resulted in the only judgment holding the former dictator Ferdinand E. Marcos liable for gross human rights violations committed during his incumbency. To talk about strongman politics, patriarchy, and dictatorship, let us welcome Honorable Loretta Ann Rosales.
your student council or your... Sige, okay. Pwede ako managalog, ha? Sige, isang mainit na pagbati sa inyong lahat. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat, no, for inviting me. Matagal-tagal na rin since I last came to UP para makapagsalita at nakakatuwa na kahit papaano, you know, I was just texting these women's organizations, yung mga petitioners against the burial of Marcos and so on. Can you meet us at sa global, etc. tonight? And nandun ako sa UP, kung ganun, mahihirapan ako. Alam naman niyo, traffic. Pero sabi kong ganun, ito yung nangyayari. Andiyan ang mga estudyante, andiyan si Pia Renada from Rappler. CJ Sereno is supposed to come. I don't know, is she coming? She's coming. Very good, no? So I told them that she probably will be coming. And the students are a consortium of student organizations. This is what I understand with the UP Student Council. So thank you very much, students. And I hope that this is a continuing thing that will gather strength. And I know that it will gather strength. Because guess what? Whether we like it or not, ang mga kabataan talaga, ang may kakayahan may daring. Unang-una, because hindi pa kayo na babagahin ng mga maraming bagay, mga businesses, mga trabaho, mga estudyante kayo. Tapos ang lakas ng idealism pa natin, di ba, bilang mga estudyante, nag-iisip pa tayong kwan. Ako ngayon, nagtuturo ako, bumalik ako sa pagtuturo, pero napakalayo, doon sa kwan, De La Salle, St. Benilde. I teach governance, development, and human rights, and also migration. And it's very interesting to be, dealing with students. Are you mostly undergrad or graduate students? Halong kalamay. Undergrad mostly, no? O, sige, siyam. Okay, so, ang pag-uusapan ko, kasi si Pia talked about so much already about Duterte, no? Ayoko nang pag-usapan si Duterte. No? I mean, kasi patriarchy, ang sabing gano'n. No? Talk about women and patriarchy. Okay, patriarchy. You are the father. You are supreme in your family, in your clan. And what does that mean? That means to say that in decision-making, in the hierarchy of relations and decision-making, ikaw ang namamayani. Yun yung ibig lamang sabihin nun. Pangalawa, it also means legal dependence of the women and the children on the father. Kasi superior si father. At pangatlo, sa pag-uusapan ng inheritance, ang napupunta ang inheritance dun sa male line, no? Sa male, sa mga lalaki, mas bibigyan sila. And that's a historical thing about the history of the world, no? the development, the internal development of societies and all that. But as pointed out by Pia, medyo nasa modern age na tayo, siguro kailangan gumising na tayo, malaki-laki na rin ang naging pagbabago mula nung panahon na yun. We don't have to go back to that. But there are some fossilized, ossified creatures who remain as such. Guess what, no? So there they are. Then they remain that way, and guess what? They even become presidents, no? So, in that regard, we gotta do something about it. But, as pointed out, marami tayo. Now, what I will do is, I'll try to give just a few experiences during the time of the dictatorship that we experienced under Marcos. Just a few experiences. And the experiences will be things that I learned that have helped us survive, and up to now, be one with you as we fight this authoritarian rule. It's not creeping. It's rapidly, rapidly moving towards authoritarianism. But I always believe in the dialectical process, because as it moves towards authoritarian rule, within itself, it's started to implode. Nag-i-implode siya. So I think it's interesting to talk a little about that. So, but first lessons from the dictatorship and things that we can probably look into right now, no, when we face this thing together. During the dictatorship, we used to have, grabe, mga rallies namin, no? Nung panahon na hindi pa kayo napapanganak, you were not even an idea in your papa and mama's eyes. Siguro hindi pa nagmi-meet si papa at mama. Di ba? Pero kami, lumalaban na kami noon, matatanda na kami. That's why, I'm really so happy about what Duterte said about me. Sabi niya, nung sinasabi ng media, Ma'am, what do you think of Sir, what do you think of Eta Rosales? Kasi nung mayor siya, ako yung batikos ng batikos kasi I was the chair of the Commission on Human Rights. Laila de Lima had already become DOJ. So medyo mas tumahimik na siya. Ako na yung maingay. Old age yan, sabi niya gano'n. Tama naman. No? For the first time, factual. Kasi, factual, hindi siya fake. No? Kaya ika kung gano'n, okay yun na, sabi kong gano'n, kasi I'm older than he. And he prides himself with that, of course. No? And then people say that matanda na siya. Abay, mas matanda ako, excuse me. No? So, in that light, sabi kong gano'n, at least, okay na yun. Pag sinabi niyang old age na, let's not bother with her, di malaya ako, libre lang ako na nagsasalita. Kasi patuloy naman akong nagsasalita. Okay, then let's get back to martial law days. Nung panahon na yon, we would have major rallies, big rallies in Luneta, Plaza Miranda, and every time we would have rallies, ang mga nakakasabay ko, iti siyempre yung mga magigiting nating mga senador, Kapepe Diokno, the founder of human rights, di ba? Ang galing-galing ni Kapepe. Katani, Lorenzo Tañada, he was chair of the Bagong Alyansa Makabayan. I was still part of the Bagong Alyansa Makabayan. I was director of the Popular Struggles Commission. So may mga ganyang kaming panahon, no? Siya yung chair. Ang presidente naman si Ambrosio Padilla, no? So he was a senator. So yan ang mga kasama namin. Tapos, di magsasalita sila. Eh, sino ba naman ako? Teacher ako teacher. Eh, sino ba naman ako? Paano ko bang makakapantay itong mga Kapepe Diokno? Pa nagsalita na siya talaga namang he stands out and he talks about constitutional law and he talks about democracy. Paano ko nakakapantay yung mga ganon? But you know what, students? What sustained me and what kept me distinguished, yung mga katulad ko, from the likes of Kapepe Diokno, and I'll never forget that, Katani, was because we had a mastery, we had a grasp of the sector that we represented. And in that regard, I was the teacher leader. Kami yung nag-found ng Alliance of Concerned Teachers. And ngayon, it's already a party list sa House of Reps. Pero nung panahon namin, ang ginawa namin, and this is to me a lesson I think that we should be doing. Kanina si Shamo was talking about halina kayo, etc. No? We should join. Dapat action-oriented tayo. Hindi lang yung mga from mobile to mobilization. Yun yung kanyang slogan. Kailangan mag-mobilize. Pero paano ninyong gagawin yun? I think what we did at that time, kailangan evidence-based. Kasi fake news Kasi, you've seen, Cambridge Analytica with a 50 million FB, and what's his name, Zuckerberg? He sounds so ganun ngayon. Kanina, pinakikinggan ko siya. Pero don't be moved by him kasi paano yung mga anak ko. Yun na yung iniisip niya. But let's not go into that. The point is, kailangan ebidensya. And the only reason people like us in the different student movement, teachers movement, workers movement, peasant movement, the only way na tatapatan namin ang mga Kapepe Diokno, Katani, Ambrosio Padilla, yung mga senador, and so on, was because gagap namin ang sektor na ipinaglalaban namin. I can never forget that. Kapepe would never know pag pinag-usapan ko na. pag sinasabi ko na halimbawa, yang si Marcos, sabi niya, galit na galit siya sa mga teachers, kamote, magtanim na lang kayo ng kamote. Ang sagot ko sa kanya, kaya nga kami nagagalit eh, kamote na lang ang kinakain namin, pagtataniman mo pa kami ng kamote. Di mga ganyan na sagot, no? Pero, pinuntahan ko lahat ng mga teachers sa Misamis Occidental, Misamis Oriental, CDO, Cagayan de Oro, Dipolog, up to Baguio, no? Pampanga, at nakakapagwelga kami nationwide mga teachers. Isang panawagan namin at kakampi namin ang media. Oh. Kakampi namin ang media. So in that regard, 10 minutes na nakakaramdam na siya eh, baka tumagal ako ng tumagal, no? O, sige. I have a tendency. O, sige. So, ganon. That is a lesson that we learned. So that, kakampi ko yung media noon. Walang ABS-CBN noon. They were shut down. It was GMA na mas nahahawakan. That was always with us. And with that, we were able to, because yung mga teachers, nasa media sila and so on. And with that, we were able to come out strong. So, students, right now, EJK, si Ka Emily, napakaganda po ng kwento ninyo. Sapagkat gusto ko kayong kausapin, pagkatapos, ngayon, pasok na tayo sa present day, ano? O, meron pa akong 10 minutes, ha? O, sige. Pasok na tayo sa present day. Ngayon, meron kaming tinayo na organisasyon, samahan. At lagi kong sinasabi, ang pangalan niya, dati-dati, yung pare, nakausap ko, magtayo tayo at buhayin natin yung ubas. So, ubas means ugnayan ng barangay at simbahan. Paano kung ayaw ng barangay? Ayaw nung munisipalidad? Ayaw, di palitan na lang natin yung prutas kung gano'n. No? Ano ipapalit natin? Di nag-isip ako, ano kaya yung peras? No? O ano ibig sabihin ng peras? Di nag-isip uli ako, peras. Participatory education for rights awareness and social action. Oh, anong tingin niyo doon? Di ba? Okay, peras. It's stuck. Kaya ngayon ka, Emily, meron na tayong peras. Meron na tayong peras. At andito, ugnayan ng mga simbahan at mga grassroots organizations, NGOs sa komunidad, plus mga miyembro ng eskwelahan at miyembro ng LGU. Kasama namin dito yung KADAC, yung City Anti-Drug Abuse Council Executive Director. Kasama-sama namin, kasama rin namin ang CHR. At doon, nakakuha na kami, patapos na ako para makuha ninyo. Yung positive na lang ang pag-uusapan natin, no? Na dahil sa tiyaga, nagpupunta kami sa komunidad, nakikiusap kami sa Caloocan, ando na patayan. Tapos sa Payatas, tapos sa Maynila, ilang lugar doon, andun, tapos unti-unti, Ka Emily, nakausap namin ang mga katulad ni Michelle, katulad ninyo, 90 families na ang nakapaloob sa peras. 57 ang nabigyan na namin ng pagsusuri, pag-aaral at pagtutulong. At para sa amin, ang mahalaga, ang pinakamahalaga, ibalik ang kanilang pagkatao. Self-worth, their self-esteem. Because the essence of a human person is his or her human dignity. And that is what it's all about. And that human dignity cannot be attained unless you are fully aware of what your human rights are. And guess what? President Duterte, PS President, no, is allergic to human rights in much the same way he is allergic to strong women. Diba? So, yun ang sa palagay ko, dapat natin pag-aralan ng gusto. The ICC, the Rome Statute, my God, that's a beautiful, tawag mo rito, project to look into, my dear students. Pag-aralan natin, and don't listen to Panelo when he says that the ICC or the Rome Statute has nothing much to do with the Constitution. All international laws that are generally accepted, on which we are a state party, become part and parcel of the law of the land. That becomes part of the Constitution. So it's a constitutional question when flaws and distortions are made with respect to human rights instruments to which we are all a state party. And it is this international human rights instrument anchored, patapos na ako, international human, 5 minutes pa? Hala ko I have to end na 5 minutes pa. Okay. so the state party, no? So the international human rights, we have 8 out of 9 international human rights treaties where we are a state party. And the procedure in becoming a state party, I was just discussing this with Barry Gutierrez the other day when he was saying it's a gray area whether it should be concurrence. So I don't think it's a gray area. You need to have both executive and the Senate if you want to withdraw from a treaty. No? So, because that is how you are able to become a state party. First, you're a signatory when the executive signs. But you have to have state concurrence of ratification in order to become a state party. And that's an higher level, and that's a difference, qualitative level, with respect to your obligations. So there are 8 of 9 international human rights instruments, and I will end up by saying all of these are part of the law of the land, and that includes the Rome Statute. Pag-aralan natin to, mga estudyante kayo, UP pa naman din, oh for heaven's sakes, pag-aralan natin ito. And out of the, what do you call this, provisions of the Constitution, are statutory laws. There are a whole lot more than 30 estimated laws on human rights, social justice, and the rule of law. Pag-aralan natin ito at gawin nating buhay ang saligang batas, 3 minutes left, while I'm making my conclusions, she is so nice to me. No? There are, okay, pag-aralan, let's make the saligang batas a living document. Hindi yung nile-lecture mo, etc. And you can make it a living document by looking into the statutory laws that have derived from the principles, like the Renewable Energy Act. Ano tawag mo rito? Clean Water Act. I'm just talking about environmental laws. The Solid Waste Management, isa yun. What about rights of the accused? Anti-torture law, yung civil political rights. Mayaman yan. Ang trabaho natin, tiyakin natin na lahat itong mga batas na ito magiging buhay at maiintindihan ng mamamayang Pilipino. Katulad ng mga pamilya nila Emily. Hindi po ba? At pag nalaman nila ito, then you empower them and you make them informed citizens. So that bringing about change in society will come from the families of Emily, the students, the teachers, the elderly like me, all of us together, inclusively, step by step, but dynamically, should work towards change. Magtatagumpay tayo. We did it in the EDSA revolution. We can do it today. Mabuhay kayong lahat.
Thank you so much, Ka Eta. Sobrang inspiring, di ba? So for this part of the program, we'll be having an open forum. So maybe please invite our speakers dito po sa stage.
Pero guys, hindi pa to yung last part ng program natin kasi meron pa tayong isang speaker after the open forum. We'll just have a short open forum until...
Yes. So magkaka-open forum tayo for at least 15 minutes. So paki-prepare na rin po ng questions at para ma-address na rin ng ating mga speakers.
Yes.
So, sa mga may questions po, please line up na.
Dito sa gitna.
Sa
Then
gitna.
make your questions as concise as possible. And before you give your question, please tell us to whom you will direct the question to.
Okay.
Ayun.
So, questions po coming from our audience members.
Sige, ako nang bababa bilang maging courtside reporter.
Yes. Amber, kumusta dyan sa baba?
Ano, mainit. Malamig. Pero hindi naman masyado malamig. Parang Baguio, pero mas malamig. Pero malamig.
Ewan ko sa'yo. Familiar? Familiar?
Sounds familiar, no?
Sounds familiar.
Hindi
Saan tayo-
masyado, pero
Oo.
familiar.
Familiar. Parang taga-Albay.
Ay, hindi.
Saan ba?
Taga Camarines, di ba? Taga Naga.
Taga Naga.
Oo.
Sige. Okay, clarifications po or concerns? Questions?
May questions po sila.
Questions po. Sayang, sobrang insightful ng speakers
Oo nga
natin.
eh.
Let's use our time.
May questions.
Questions?
Wala.
Ayan, meron doon.
Asaan? Ay, ikaw.
Courtside reporter, Mare.
Hello po.
Please introduce yourself. then.
Pa-introduce lang po yung sarili, then para kanino yung question.
I'm Julie Pearl Donaire. I'm from Davao and this is for Pia. Pia, actually itanong ko na rin to before sa isang Rappler employee, pero gusto ko lang i-follow up kung napag-usapan niyo ba sa Rappler yung tungkol sana sa mga kultura. Since di ba kayo dito is Manila, tapos si Duterte kasi taga Davao, so may mga actions kami like yung sa whistling, yung nag-whistle, or, yeah, napag-usapan niyo ba yung tungkol sa mga bagay na yan? Kasi, ang sa nakita ko kasi is, yung cultural gap natin, masyado siyang mataas. And then, ang pinag-uusapan kasi natin is yung taong yan, taga-South. So, yun lang, gusto ko sana lang malaman kung nagkaroon ba kayo ng workshop or pag-uusap among your group tungkol sa area na yan.
Actually, sa Rappler, marami rin from different regions. We also have people from Mindanao. Pero for me, hindi naman yun yung issue masyado because we cited a document naman coming from Davao City. It's an actual women's code of the city that says wolf whistling is against the law. So I'm not sure if there's a need to ask about it when we ask the question. I mean, do you mean na that was not a fair assessment of the situation? Ganun ba yung ibig sabihin niyo? Or why do you think we would need to talk about those things?
Kasi kultura kasi yan eh. Iba ang kultura ng mga Visayan. Kayo Tagalog kayo, kami Visayan. May mga actions kami na kami lang nakakaintindi or pwedeng ma-adapt sa national, ganun. So, ang question ko lang, napag-uusapan niyo ba ang tungkol sa mga areas na yan?
Kasi para sa akin, yung issue naman of whether or not yung wolf whistling na ginawa ni Duterte ay offensive to Visayans versus offensive to Tagalogs. Para sa akin kasi hindi na yun yung issue kasi nga galing sa mismong code na sinulat ng mga Dabawenyo na ang wolf whistling ay hindi nararapat. So para sa akin, since yung dokumento na yun ay galing sa mga Dabawenyo, sila na yung nagsabi na hindi siya karapat-dapat. So para sa amin yung mga cultural differences, I think there are some people in fact na mga Bisaya who, di ba kasi may mga defenders ang presidente, sinasabi na hindi naman basta si Duterte kasi yan lang yung Bisayan way of talking about certain things. May mga Bisaya na alam ko na i-insulto sa ganon. Sinasabi nila, hindi naman bastos ang Bisaya at hindi lahat ng Bisaya or taga Mindanao ay nagsasalita ng ganon. So I think we should be careful with generalizing people just because we don't think it's offensive doesn't mean other people don't think it's offensive. So we should accept that may contradictory views.
Can I just add? I'm from the South. I grew up in Surigao, which is a really small city. Like, we call it a city, but actually, like, kaya mong maglakad ng isang araw sa buong city namin. So, but I'm a city girl. Charot lang. Wolf whistling in general is a sign of disrespect, and that's the reason why it has been enshrined in the Davao Women's Code that it's illegal. Because it shows that you do not necessarily respect the person that you're whistling at, especially if it's under the connotation of a sexual, it connotates that sort of thing. And I'm pretty sure that in that context, the whistling with Maurice O'Malley was under that context. So we can't really use the idea of culture as an excuse for disrespecting women, or culture as an excuse of just, absolving our president of doing that. Secondly, using that argument, using that line of logic, in India, it's a culture to have to burn the wives when the husband dies. Or in some countries, it's a culture for children to be brides. Pero it has been overturned. It's a recent development in one I can't remember which country that has child brides, and they've overturned it and considered it as against the law to have a child bride. So it doesn't mean that it's a culture that has been, even if it's a culture that has been long there, means na you can use it anytime just for you to justify yourself. Because culture is something that can be changed. When culture is something that can be there, but if it demeans anyone, what if culture natin ang pagpatay ng tao? That's not acceptable. So I don't think culture is something that needs to be used as a justification for saying that it's unfair, for saying that, he's just acting upon culture, because I don't think it's culture. I don't think it's Bisaya culture to be a disrespectful person.
Thank you. All right. Other questions?
Pag-clarify. Ayan.
Kumusta ka, Jen?
Sorry, hindi abot ng signal dito sa Gen Ad. Sige, balik ako sa lower box.
Ayan.
Asan yung ayun? Sa lower box nga. Ba't ba ako pumunta sa Gen Ad? Walang signal dun. Hello po. Ay, hello.
Introduce yourselves then.
Hello po, ako po si Floricar Manalo. I am a pol sci student. Gusto ko lang din po i-address yung question muna bago ko i-state yung question ko na sarili. I guess if we will look at the culture argument, if we will consider na it's a part of the culture, we need to look at it deeper and analyze saan ba nanggagaling yung kultura. And kung yung kultura ay nanggagaling sa isang patriarkal na sistema, ito nga yung kinokorek natin. Hindi lang sa Davao o sa South, kung hindi sa buong Pilipinas. Kasi yung patriarkal na sistema sa buong Pilipinas ay existing. At malaki yung existence niya. So, ayun. So, I think it's a systemic issue din, bukod sa cultural. And then, yung question ko naman po is that, para sa lahat po. Kasi yung discussion po natin ngayon ay nakatutok sa kabataang kababaihan. Yung question ko naman po is, ano naman po yung kinakaharap na problema ng mga kababaihang manggagawa sa Duterte administration? Ano po yung difference nung kinakaharap nilang difficulty from other administrations? Ayun po. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, sino pong gusto mo? Ayan, si Kaeta.
So, just one aspect, no? Nung unang panahon, hindi naman ako tatagal. Nung unang panahon, bago pa si Marcos, wala tayong masyadong OFW. Di ba? Si Marcos, when Marcos declared martial law, doon talaga yung sale of cheap labor. Pero ang labor na nabebenta was usually the male sector. Ngayon, mas marami na ang kababaihan na manggagawa na go abroad dahil sa kailangan ng, economic reasons and so on and so forth. Yung tanong, ano ang kalagayan ng kababaihan? So I will just talk about the OFWs. Most of the women workers who go abroad are domestic workers o di kaya mga caregivers. And believe it or not, some of them are teachers. So nagiging rusty yung kanilang teaching skills at nagiging domestic workers sila. Tapos, at saka yung mga nurses. Ano ang social cost ng mga paghihiwalay pagpupunta nila abroad? Hindi na natin pag-uusapan yung Kuwait at saka yung nangyari kay Dimafiles. But usually, at ito, statistics, dapat nating pinag-aaralan. Pag naghiwalay sila, yung asawa nila, at pag titingnan nyo sa statistics, yung asawa nila, kesa pa yung anak naming babae, mapunta sa iba, kami na lang. The biggest number of rape cases for children come from people the children are familiar with. The father, the uncle, the friend, etc. And the biggest number of rape cases are child rape cases rather than adults na nakakalaban. This is a fact na dapat nalalaman natin. And it plays a major factor with the problem of overseas Filipinos, women who go there. Ito, isang dahilan lang ito. It's not the principal na lahat ng yaya. I'm not saying all men rape their children, but there is increasing evidence of this kind of thing. So that's my answer to you. And Duterte, while he says Kuwait, hindi dapat, ang tanong ko, para maging mas maayos, halimbawa, hindi natin makakayanang itigil yung pagpunta abroad. Para magiging mas maayos ang kalagayan ng mga pamilya, lalo na ang mga manggagawang babae, igalang natin ang karapatang pantao. Igalang natin ang bilateral relations with the host countries, countries of destination, countries of employment. Igalang natin ang United Nations at ang mga institutes nito, sapagkat ito ang siyang maaasahan natin na magtatanggol sa overseas Filipinos natin, habang igalang natin ang domestic policies natin on human rights tungkol sa mga pamilya natin na naiiwan dito. And Duterte must account for that. May pananagutan siya sapagkat siya ang Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas. So, yun.
Sorry, ang dami kong sinasabi na. This is just a general, actually, it's not just under the Duterte administration, etc. Pero I think it's important to note that in general in the Philippines, unionism is not something that's common. Our labor unions are not strong. And the culture in our labor unions are that wala masyadong babaeng leader ng labor union. And for young women here who will be part of the workforce in the future, and for us UP students who believe that being part of a union is very much important for the workers to protect their rights when they're in businesses, especially in capitalist industries, I think it's very much important for us, young women especially, that are going to be in the workforce, to try and grab power within labor unions and try to lead labor unions in terms of really conducting very meaningful negotiations with bargaining agreements with the industries that we have right now. Kasi that's one thing that we really lack as well. A lot of, especially na maraming BPOs ngayon, nahihirapan silang mag-unionize dahil ang taas ng attrition rate ng BPOs natin. And most of us young people are in BPOs. Parang yun yung palaging entry jobs natin na ginagawa. So again, just to the point, I think it's very important that we, as future people in the workforce, try to establish a vibrant union, labor union within the Philippines as well, and have women become leaders of labor unions.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, next question.
All right. We have room for 2 more questions.
2 more questions. So,
Okay.
siya muna and then si Benji. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Vim. I'm from UP Econ. So, this isn't really a question. It's more of a request for all of you in front. Like, if you're given, it's pang pageant actually. If you're given the chance to talk to Duterte right now, like, what would you tell him?
Let me cover Malacanang.
Sir, feeling ko kailangan niyo pong, I think you need to see a shrink.
Well, I'll tell him, because President Duterte keeps on, ano yun? Hello? President Duterte keeps on saying he upholds the Constitution. But nilalabag niya ang saligang batas. Nilalabag niya ang prinsipyo. Meron siyang accountability. Yun ang sasabihin ko sa kanya. Article 11, public office is a public trust. You are accountable to the people. Taxpayers' money. And if you are real, dapat magpakatotoo ka. Gusto mo ng, ito, idadagdag ko na lang, gusto mo ng federalismo, ikaw mo, para magkaroon ng kapangyarihan yung mga maliliit na bansa. Alam mo kung anong budget niya sa Office of the President? 13 billion contingent fund. Noong 2016, 250 million ang kanyang intelligence, 250 million ang kanyang confidential funds. Ngayon, 2.5 billion ang confidential, 2.5 billion ang intelligence funds niya. Those are the realities, those are the facts. So how can you decentralize when you are controlling everything? And the last point, magpakototoo ka. Sinasabi mo, gusto mo ng decentralization, federalismo. Eh bakit si Solicitor General minomonopolize lahat ng mga ahensya sa isang panukalang batas sa House of Representatives? They want to abolish the PCGG, they want to abolish the Office of the Government Corporate Council, they want to weaken the DOJ, kaya nagagalit si DOJ, at lahat ipapasok sa Solicitor General. So it's consolidation of rule towards authoritarianism, labag sa federalismo at demokrasya.
Stop the EJK, please.
Alright.
Marami pong salamat. Ang laki pala ng intelligence budget ng gobyerno, pero parang hindi naman intelligent. Charot. Shit, may EJK ako nito. Chat.
Ingat ka.
Our last question.
Hello po. Bago ko po tanungin yung question, gusto ko lang pong i-recognize yung presence ng ating binibining Pilipinas candidate, Miss Jerilyn Rodriguez. Andito, kasama po natin siya. Prof ko po siya sa BA. At matalinong top 6 po yan sa board exam. But anyway, yung question ko po bilang panghuli na ay address po kay Ma'am Emily. Nakakaantig po ng puso yung naging kwento ninyo sa katunayan po na marami pong naiyak sa amin. Kailangan ko pong lumabas para makontain yung sarili ko. Hindi po araw-araw po namin naririnig sa TV, sa radyo, nababasa yung mga ganyang kwento. Pero iba po pala kapag kaharap mo na yung isa sa mga naging biktima ng Oplan Toka. Hindi naman po naging kimi ang UP pagdating sa usapin na yan. Madalas po kaming nagrarally. Subalit po meron pa rin pong mga estudyante na siguro po nahihirapan na sumama. Gusto ko lang po sana kayong tanungin ano pong magiging mensahe ninyo sa mga scholar ng bayan. Paano po kami makakatulong sa mga katulad ninyo na na binibiktima ng administrasyong Duterte. So ano pong mensahe niyo sa amin at paano po kami makakatulong sa inyo?
Siguro, pagpatuloy niyo yung pag-aaral niyo, tapos pag mga naging lawyer na kayo talaga, di ba, karamihan naman dito, makukuha ng law, kalampagin niyo ng kalampagin si Duterte, kung kaya niyong pababain niyo na, kahit hindi pa tapos yung term niya. Kasi di ba, para matapos na yung EJK na yan, ang dami pang batang magiging kawawa pag hindi siya natapos, hindi lang yung mga pamangkin ko, marami pa. Kaya, kayong mga bata, kayo tuloy niyo yung pag-aaral niyo. Kung kaya niyong mag-summer para mas mabilis kayong makatapos. Di ba, may gano'n naman. Para mas mabilis yung pag-aaral. Tapos, pag naging lawyer na kayo, kalampagin niyo siya, pababayin niyo siya. Kasi di ba, kaya niyo yun. Alam ko gano'n eh. Hindi ko lang alam kung tama yung pagkakaalam ko, Pero, gano'n kasi yung pagkakaintindi ko.
Thank you, Ate M.
PM.
Ayan. So, for the last part na yun po, manghihingi po kami ng huling mensahe sa lahat po ng ating mga inspiring women this afternoon. Miss Pia?
I guess last message ko is to not take for granted yung ating freedom to express ourselves. Kasi we never know kung anong mangyayari. During this administration, we've seen that Duterte can surprise us and doesn't do things by the book. So we should never, ever, ever stop demanding that our rights be respected. We should always make noise if we need to. Yung takot ko talaga is one day, people will just be co-opted na lang into thinking, ay, hindi magbabago yan, wala nang pag-asa. Nothing will stop him, nothing will change. Yun yung pinaka-nightmare ko na people will just give up. So let's not give up.
I think what's happening right now is we have a strict father that's trying to exert his dominance all over us. And one thing is for sure, it usually doesn't work. So what's the alternative to a strict father? It's a nurturing parent. It's a feminist parent, and that's what democracy is. It's a feminist agenda. Sabi nga ni Rihanna, all of my kindness mistaken for weakness. All of my kindness mistaken for weakness. Kanta po yun ni Rihanna. But caring is not weakness. And caring is usually a feminine trait. So you must continue to care. We must continue to love. We must continue to hope. All of the positive things that this government has had us forget, we must try to remember. You guys have watched Star Wars? Sa mga hindi pa nakapanood, you're missing half of your life. Just lang. Ang pinaka-favorite ko doon is yung This Is How We Win by... Kala ko nanood kayo. Not by fighting what we hate, but saving what we love. And that's the agenda of democracy. It's an agenda of healing. It's an agenda of slow, impactful, and long-term healing for everyone. Because of all the trauma that we have seen that is happening right now. Currently, we may be in a toxic relationship with someone na niligawan ang Pilipinas. At yung mga rallyista, yung mga friends niya na parang, girl, bad yan para sa'yo. Pero it's something that we really still need to push for. We need to push for a human-centered government. A government that nurtures instead of a government that scares everyone into submission. That's why we need to push for alternatives to the drug war, push for alternatives to martial law. And one of the alternatives for the drug war is harm reduction, for example. One of the alternatives for our problem with criminality is gun control, reform in our incarceration laws, focus on the issues of poverty in the Philippines that is very much deeply ingrained in focus on improving our economy. Ang daming pwedeng gawin instead of killing your own people. And I think that's something that we really still need to remember because that's at the core of what we're fighting for. At the core of what we're fighting for is the people. Because we are scholars of the people. Their taxes pay for our, well, subsidize our tuition kasi nagbabayad pa rin naman tayo. And really, we need to give back to them by using what we've learned in this premier institution to improve the lives of everyone and not just ours and not just our own careers. So, scholar ng bayan, scholar para sa bayan. Maraming salamat.
Maikli na lang ang sasabihin ko. Sabi ni Ka Emily, magpatuloy kayo sa pag-aaral nyo. Idadagdag ko. Kasi tama yung sinasabi niya stop EJKs dahil itigil na yung patayan na yan. Diba? Pero, dagdag ko dun sa sinasabi niya na magpatuloy kayo sa pag-aaral nyo. Tama, magpatuloy kayo sa pag-aaral nyo. Pero, hindi lang sa eskwela ang pag-aaral at edukasyon. Pumunta tayo sa mga komunidad. Mag-aral tayo sa buhay ng ating mga pamilya, mga nanay, mga anak. Do you know that 74 ang pinaslang na children whom Duterte calls collateral damage? This is the latest findings of the NGO, December 2017. Kala ko 54 lang. 74 children ang pinaslang na. So, mag-aral tayo, matuto tayo sa mga komunidad. That is the only way to truly learn. Put into practice ang pinag-aaralan nyo sa eskwelahan. At sabihin natin kay Duterte, may pananagutan ka. Pag malakas na tayo. The point lamang, he is eroding the principle of checks and balance. By controlling the Congress, winawasak ang judiciary, at kinoconsolidate ang executive. At yung mga local government codes, sina-silence niya. But the principle of checks and balance will rely on the last pillar, the fundamental pillar. And this is an informed, committed, and mobilized citizenry. Tayo yun. Kaya yun lamang ang pag-asa natin.
Wala naman kasi akong masyadong alam sa batas talaga. Basta yun pa rin yung sinabi ko kanina. Kasi parang hindi rin naman kasi hindi ako nakapagtapos ng high school. Basta ang pagkakaalam ko lang kasi, pagka nag-aaral ka, tapos nakatapos ka, naging abogado ka na, magkakaroon ka ng boses hindi ka tulad ng hindi ka nakapag-aral. Parang kahit marami kang gustong sabihin, hindi mo yun masabi kasi unang-una nahihiya ka, hindi ka tulad yung nakapag-aral ka, matapang kang humarap kahit kanino, kahit senador, kahit presidente pa yan. Kaya ayun pa rin yung sasabihin ko, ituloy nyo yung pag-aaral sa loob ng school, sa labas ng bahay, ayun lang. Kasi hindi kasi kami masyadong nabigyan hindi kami nagkaroon ng magandang edukasyon. Parang yung istorya kasi ng magulang namin, lumipat lang sa amin. Kaya sana yung istorya ng magulang namin na lumipat sa amin, wag na yung lumipat sa mga pamangkin ko. Kaya, kumbaga, isa kayo sa pag-asa namin na pag nakatapos kayo ng pag-aaral, kaya nyo kaming mga ipagtanggol na mga hindi nakapag-aral kasi kayo kaya nyo humarap sa kanila. Dahil pag naging abogado na kayo, lahat ng mga ginagawang mali ng gobyerno natin, kaya niyo yung labanan, hindi katulad namin. Wala kaming boses. Kumbaga, ipagpatuloy niyo yan kasi kayong mga kabataan na makakapag-aral at makakapagtapos, kayo yung magiging boses namin. Kayo yung magiging katulong namin para huwag naman laging habang panahon na lang, kami na lang yung magiging ape. Kasi kami nga yung walang alam. Kaya nga nung namatay yung hipag ko, alam nyo ba na sinasabi sa amin na magdemanda kayo, magreklamo kayo, total may nakakita. Anong pandidemanda namin? Yung pangkayan nga sa araw-araw, kailangan pang pumadyak ng motor. Uunahin mo pa yung magdemanda na hindi mo alam kung sino yung ididemanda mo. Kaya, yun lang, ituloy nyo lang yung pag-aaral nyo kasi ang laking panlaban nyo yan sa buhay nyo, pati sa buhay ng kapwa nyo. Ayun lang.
Salamat po, Ate Ems. Alam nyo guys, sobrang importante ng mensaheng binigay sa atin ni Ate Ems na in an ideal society, mayaman, mahirap, nakapagtapos o hindi, dapat may pantay-pantay na boses. Pero sa lipunan natin, alam natin na kung wala kang natapos, kung mahirap ka, wala kang boses. Kaya tayo, bilang scholar ng bayan, kailangan tayo yung mag-echo nung mga pinaglalaban nitong mga oppressed nating makababayan. Dapat tayo yung magtaas nung mga hinaing nila sa gobyerno na hindi nakikinig sa kanila.
Bilang mga pag-asa ng bayan. Kaya maraming salamat po sa
po.
napaka-inspiring na pag-share ng mga inyong storya. At this point po, we would like to invite, syempre, Benji Aquino, EPD USC Chairperson, and of course, Akbayan Youth Chairperson JC Tejano to give our tokens of appreciation to our speakers, Miss Emily Cruz. Miss Emily Cruz po. Ayan.
Siyempre, wag muna kayong aalis kasi meron pa tayong isang speaker.
Miss Pia Ranada.
Pia Ranada. Miss Shama Bulangis.
And Honorable Loretta Ann Rosales po. Hindi po tayo tapos sa program natin ngayong hapon. We'll have another speaker after this. So, again, maraming salamat po sa mga speakers natin ngayong hapon. Thank you for inspiring us.
We learned a lot
to
from
fight.
you, yes.
Yes, to fight for democracy. Alright. So,
ano na, Kisha, ito na yung inaabangan mo.
Yes, actually.
Ito yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina na pinakahihintay mo. Pero alam mo ba, nagulat ako kay Benji kanina nung pinakilala niya yung candidate ng Miss ng Binibining Pilipinas. Akala ko ako yung sasabihin niya.
Kaso
nag-expect talaga ako. Tapos sabi niya ay nasa harap pala, ay nasa likod ako.
Sorry. Alright. Now, for our final speaker. Our final speaker is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Philippines. She graduated valedictorian from the UP College of Law in 1984. Soon after, joined the largest law firm in the country. She joined the UP Law faculty and would eventually go on to lead and administer two institutions based in the UP Law Center, the Institute of International Legal Studies and the Information and Publication Division. She was a professor at the UP College of Law for nearly 20 years. At the age of 38, she was appointed as legal counselor at the World Trade Organization's Appellate Body Secretariat in Geneva, and at the age of 39, she was chosen as the only female member of the 1999 Preparatory Commission on Constitutional Reform, where she was elected chairperson of the Commission's steering committee. Prior to her joining the court, she was engaged in major international litigation as co-counsel for the Republic, after which she joined the Asian Institute of Management as executive director of its think tank, the AIM Policy Center, where she pursued her interest in policy reform and its impact on governance and the economy. Access to justice is one of the centerpiece advocacies of Chief Justice Sereno. She serves as an example that women of competence and commitment can contribute significantly to the cause of social change and development. Let us welcome Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Alright. So habang iniintay natin yung next speaker natin,
pasalamatan ulit natin ang ating mga partners.
Of course, Youth Resist,
UP Diliman University Student Council,
UP Business Administration Council,
CSSP Student Council,
UP Delta Lambda Sigma Sorority,
UP Portia Sorority,
UP Babaylan,
Adelphi and Ucrea Sorority,
UP Alianza,
UP School of Economics Student Council,
UP Buklod ISEP,
UP Women in Law,
UP Phi Delta Alpha Sorority,
Akbayan Youth, UP Diliman,
Every Woman.
and Inside Gov.
Again, let's all welcome our Chief Justice,
Maria Lourdes Sereno.
Thank you very much. Thanks for this very warm welcome. May I request the professionals please give way to the students.
Alright, para po makita din ng mga participants natin ngayong hapon, kung pwede po sigurong bumaba din po tayo, kasi po hindi pa rin po nila nakikita. Ayan, maraming salamat po. Sana po baba po ng onte. Ayan, okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm always very, very happy whenever I am with young people. And so I'd like us to give a warm round of applause for all the young people in this audience. To the not so very young, but still spirited. So thank you very much. I was requested by the host to dispense with calling and acknowledging the dignitaries in our presence, because every person here is actually very important. That's why, for our purposes this afternoon, we will dispense with that, and I will immediately get to the core of my message. You know, this is supposed to be a special message by me as a woman on judicial independence. I hope that especially the women participants here, as well as the leaders from the male population who are here, all believe in the advocacy of women's rights. And so I thank you that this is a special occasion for me to talk on this particular theme. And I have called this as Women Showing the Way in a Noisy and Confusing World. So you would think that sometimes the parody about women being the ones creating noise, no? Well, I'll show a better way, and I'll show a better story. This month marks a yearly milestone in the fight for women's rights. And I believe that is why many of you here are listening to women leaders who have made impressive footprints in their particular endeavors. You know, at similar gatherings like these, women leaders and their supporters usually assess how far the world has come in terms of advancing the causes of women's once underprivileged status. So I don't think I can add any more to your very incisive discourses, especially with your very esteemed speakers. However, let me say that perhaps my presence here as the incumbent Chief Justice is proof that in the field of law, women have taken on a very strong leadership in the judiciary. We see this especially from the fact that the prediction is that in a couple of years, more women than men will don the judicial robe. And in a recent remarkable list
for appellate court and tertiary level court judges. All the shortlisted names sent to the President for appointment were all of female aspirants. Very, very good female aspirants. I would like to emphasize for this afternoon the core foundation of women's rights in the Philippines, and that is the Constitution. It guarantees equal protection and equal participation of women and men in the social and political life of this nation. It calls on everyone to advance social justice and protect human rights. It guarantees everyone's rights to due process, to be presumed innocent, to avail of the courts of law for a fair trial, and assures the protection of the poor in the eyes of the law. Statutes have been enacted in response to the call of the Constitution, as well as international treaties and declarations on the rights of women. And I will, out of due deference to the other esteemed speakers here, will not take up time here to explain how these statutes operationalize the advancement of women's rights. A special place was also crafted to ensure that the rights of women and children, the more vulnerable members in a traditional family, would be protected by way of laws and rules of court to ensure that they are fairly heard, especially in situations where wife and child battery could place an inability for these victims to present the true picture of how the members are treated in a household. Thus, my key message is I would like to make a special call today, and that is how women should lead the call to reason in an increasingly chaotic, noisy, and confused world. If you would notice, I had been making a call to reason since the impeachment complaint was filed against me. It has been nearly 8 months, this unceasing attack against my person and my office. Apparently funded by a formidable machinery, the complaint and its ever-expanding scope has attempted to hurl all kinds of charges against me. Now, the complainant and his enablers are endeavoring to bring up imagined trespasses committed by me as early as when I was just 26 years old and starting my career here in UP. It's a wonder they didn't try to dig up my high school record. In the face of such onslaught, I have asked for dignity to be observed. After all, it is the highest magistrate's office that is being attacked, more than a person. The stakes for the rule of law, if the evil machinators of the impeachment or the resignation scheme succeed, is that no one, not one man, especially not one woman, will be safe in this country. Everyone will have to look for a political patron to save herself from incessant harassment, threats, and bullying. Thus, I am encouraged that many judges, majority of them women, have boldly demanded that their political neutrality be respected and judicial independence be upheld, and had refused to join the 20 judges who called for my resignation. The Constitution in its present form will be torn into shreds, and with it, every right that the Bill of Rights seeks to protect. The right to the presumption of innocence, the right to privacy, the right against unlawful searches and seizures, the right to property without due process of law, the right against deprivation of property without due process of law, and yes, the very right to life itself. It opens all kinds of interpretation which can only hasten the death of democracy in the country. This kind of malevolent and concerted attack against the values we hold dearest in our hearts: freedom, compassion for our fellow man, peace, kindness, justice, truth, righteousness, acknowledgement of God, and yes, even love for our neighbors and for each other, is enabled by noise and confusion. Fake news, alternative facts, vulgar language, descending to the depths by calling persons, genders, classes, advocacies, and institutions degrading names, can be considered as just tactical strategies to divert attention from the real prize. And the real prize is democratic institutions and constitutional rights and processes. That is why women, especially mothers, who are so used to the double burden and who can sort out the genuine need of our children amidst the din of simultaneously crying babies, have a special role to play. They can block out the noise. They can focus, focus, focus. Focus on what really is at stake: our constitutional rights and framework of governance. There are interagency and intra-agency fights that people should no longer pay attention to. There are intrigues a la showbiz that should just be noted and no longer merit the subject of long posts. They are just sideshows. Instead, ask the real questions. Is there reason to this apparent madness? Is the anger driven? Who benefits from the divisiveness? Women can focus, 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 and get to the bottom of things. We cannot get distracted. Our energies cannot be dissipated. We know the real picture and understand what is at stake. Fight for democracy. Fight for the rule of law. Fight for judicial independence. In so fighting, call a red herring for what it is: a decoy, a distraction, a stunt. Yet, in calling out, do so in a spirit of calm, not anger. Be articulate, sincere, and truthful. Speak to the sectors who most need the message. Reach out to them because they also want a clear way out of this confusion. That, in my belief, is how you fight for our freedoms, for our democratic institutions, and for our constitutional rights in an increasingly noisy and chaotic world. Thank you for holding up the banner of womanhood. Thank you for leading the fight for our country's future. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much po, Chief Justice Sereno, for that very inspiring and thought-provoking speech.
Yes, so we'd like to invite on stage again Benji Aquino and
The UP
JC
Diliman
Tejada.
Chairperson and JC Tejano, Akbayan Youth
Yes,
Chairperson.
to give our token of appreciation. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, so that ends our speakers for this afternoon.
Yeah.
Now, may we call on stage, of course, our speakers and all our audience members para magkaroon tayo ng photo op with everyone. So, lahat po tayo dito sa harap. What the? Ayan.
Ayan. Let's have a photo of.
All right, everyone.